Hey, this is Kingston GreyStarr. Welcome to the Neon Sessions.
We ride our unicorns in search of epic music makers and set up our traveling Glitterverse in their spaces, where we chat with, sing, and play games with rock stars. In this episode, we take over Keith Roth's musical man cave, Planet GreyStarr.
GreyStarr, welcome to episode 2 of the Neon Sessions. Woo!
Woo! We are here with the host of Sirius XM's Ozzy's Boneyard, Hair Nation, David Johansen's Mansion of Fun, the Electric Ballroom host, co-founder of Manman Records. What else do we have? Frontman of Frankenstein 3000, bass player for Kingston GreyStarr, Keith Roth.
Woohoo!
Well, you both should be my PR people. This is really good stuff. You know.
Hi, Keith.
Yeah, this is interesting. Hi. It's
Welcome
good to see
to
everybody.
the Neon Sessions.
Oh, it's great to be here. I saw Bob's episode, and I'm like, the kid in the candy store. Well, if Bob got some candy, I want to be a part of it, too.
That's right. Well, that's why you're here next.
I'm glad.
Wrote us that scathing email.
Or you just couldn't get any other guests, right? That was it.
No.
No,
We have a list a mile
I'm happy
long.
to be here.
Yeah.
We just don't know who's going to say yes.
Right.
We are so excited. We were so excited because we were like, oh my god, we have to do it in Keith's lair. You know that every person has their own specific lair? Like GreyStarr has a lair, it's full of sequins and glitter and like unicorns shadowing the background. And I'm like, oh, we have to go to Keith's lair. Which is like basically the tomes of rock and roll history live in this space. You could look at the walls for 20,000 years and not know all of the stories. So it's
so thank you
Well,
for
they
letting us
get the
invade.
electric box, though. But,
Plus the electric box.
And then there's the electric box.
That's the most important bit.
Yeah.
You know?
Thanks for letting us invade your space.
No,
I know
it's been fun.
It's a sacred area.
We'll get it back in shape.
We're coming like
There's stuff everywhere.
everywhere.
But I wanted to make it appropriate for the Glitterverse.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, let's dive into some questions.
Okay.
Shall I go first?
Go first, Grace.
Okay, what was the thing that sparked you to want to have a life in music?
A few things. The Partridge Family.
Wow!
That's so cool!
I used
Wasn't
to love the
expecting
Partridge
that.
Family, Keith Partridge.
Wow.
He was cool. Had a crush on Lori. So that was one thing. I thought it would be cool to have a family where everybody could just play together. And it didn't seem like such a hassle going to school when,
Right.
those kind of people were supportive with you.
Yeah.
That was one of it. Having older brothers that always played music around the house.
What type of music did they play?
Believe it or not, being in the Bronx, I found out later on in life that area that we lived in was kind of like a cool hipster, like finding, I thought everybody knew who the MC5 was until I moved to Jersey. Like, who, the MC what? But a lot of, they listened to the MC5 and David Peel and obviously Led Zeppelin and Cream and, Curtis Mayfield, Isaac Hayes.
Yay.
That was kind of the stuff that was going, obviously the Beatles and the Stones, so.
Yeah.
From, hearing that at a young age and, watching like Don Kirshner's rock, I was just obsessed with music.
Did you always, were you like, I want to be a bass player or I want to be a guitar player?
No,
like,
last thing I
what
ever wanted to be
your
was a bass player.
No way!
That just happened by accident.
That just happened.
Well, you start playing guitar and then you have some of the older kids like, all right, you could be in the band, but you got to play bass. I'm like, all right.
Is that what we did by accident?
Well, you would be like, okay, the fifth note, you just play the fifth note. They would write it out. They would draw it, 5th, 3, 2, 1. And believe it or not, the first song we ever did, or I did in the band, was Rush song, Xanadu.
Oh, wow.
It took a year.
I was going to say, that's a song.
Yeah, a year. And then all of a sudden I'm like, all right, well, let's do another song. And I'm like, another year? Like, oh, no, we're going to do AC/DC and the Ramones. And then all of a sudden, songs just started, popping like that.
Yeah,
but that was pretty much how, started being a band. And then, always playing guitar. Yeah, that started out playing bass. Bass is fun. I appreciate it more now because I walked away from bass for a long time.
Really?
Yep. Singing and playing guitar stuff, but going back to bass is a lot of fun. I really love and respect the instrument.
Yeah. Cool. We love that you play it. It's awesome.
Well, I love playing bass with you girls. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun band.
It is fun.
It is a really fun band.
Grace is like, we know. Moving into the world of radio, I would imagine, well, at any radio station, especially something as large as Sirius, there are so many people that are coming in and out. I mean, the diversity must be insane. Because
just who I've been in the elevator with.
Exactly. So this was my question. Tell us someone who you would be in the elevator with and you might see on a daily basis that we would never think that you would run into.
Interesting question. So who would I see up there? I mean, you roam in the hallways, you see the great Bill Bradley. I'm a New York Knicks fan. People that I've seen Sting, Eric Clapton. You see them all, but you get numb to it.
Yeah.
You really do get numb to it. And, there's been a lot of fun.
She's my favorite person, Hoda, all the time, right?
I've seen Hoda up there,
I love Hoda.
She loves my kid.
Hoda's cool.
She
loves your kid.
She always, well, not me, but, she, a mutual friend of ours who works with Hoda, always asks about my youngest.
Aww.
And then your friend's her guitar teacher, right?
My friend Jason, who I did 2 records with, is Hoda's guitar teacher. And so whenever Hoda plays on her show, Jason plays too. And Jason's like, I'm on Hoda today. She might see me.
I love
so
Hoda.
Good. So random.
Yeah, she does something up there. Jenny McCarthy. I mean, it's funny, but you do get just numb used to it. Right. Every now and then, though, you see somebody like Mel Brooks, one of my favorite moments.
Wow.
I remember going up there at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And he was walking out, and he was walking into the elevator, and that's the first time I've ever been like, I love you. I know. I saw him, and I'm like, Mel. And as the elevator door was shutting, he goes, I know you love me. Just like that. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Here's Mel Brooks walking out of there. That was great.
So cool.
That was fun.
Fun.
I know you love me, and the door just shut.
That's so great.
That's genius.
That was good. I mean, it's a fun place, and I've been there for so long. It's just like second nature.
Yeah.
You see David all the time, right?
Johansen.
Oh, yeah, I love him, man. He's one of my favorite guys on the planet. We're like 2 third graders. I feel guilty even being paid to do a show because it's a lot of laughs. David's a great guy, man.
What's the funniest thing that happened with you and David?
Probably a lot of it I can't talk about, but there's so many stuff. I remember one time he asked me to walk with him down to Times Square because, he needed to make a deposit through his Mac machine and, to put a check in there for a deposit. So we walk down there, and, the poor guy, he goes in the streets, and everybody knows him for something. Mm-hmm. Hey, for Johnny. Hey, Busta, and, but he's good with it. So, but one time we were walking back, and this bus was following us. Like, I noticed it, I don't know if he was aware of it, and this bus kept following us from block to block. And all of a sudden, people got out with, like, cameras, and they were taking pictures, and he was being cordial. And finally, he's walking around. It's enough with the pictures already. And the guy goes, Mick Jagger, one more photo, Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger! You, Mick Jagger! And I'm laughing, and he got really pissed off at me. And I'm like, well, what do you want? You look like Mick Jagger. I told him he'd probably have better luck and, just wearing like a mask. Like Spider-Man doesn't get hassled or the Naked Cowboys nearly as much as this guy. But this bus thought he was Mick Jagger. That was pretty fun.
it.
A whole busload.
Yeah, they were like tourists and they getting out with their cameras. And that was a very funny moment.
I love it. All right, are we going to skip over to my batch?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Want to pick one?
Okay. I always loved pink. It's my favorite crayon.
Who is your favorite band of all time? As a radio host, you probably play so much music, but what really makes your heart sing?
And I want to let you know that me and GreyStarr had a whole debate about
the answer.
Potentially what the answer
and
was
going to be. And I think I'm correct.
I think she might be right.
Favorite band of all time?
All time.
That's a tough one. But I'd have to say, if I was on a desert island and you could bring one record with you, it would be the Rolling Stones' Beggar's Banquet.
We were both wrong.
That's probably my favorite.
Rolling Stones' Beggar's Banquet.
Yeah, that's that era of the Stones, Beggar's Banquet, Let It Bleed, Exile on Main Street, Sticky Fingers. To me, that was like unbelievable that a band could do that. I mean, they were probably, I still get 12 years old when I hear them.
Yeah.
Who did you think I was going to say?
GreyStarr thought it was The Clash.
Yeah, they're right up there.
I feel like we've had that talk.
Yeah. There was a point in my life when the slogan, the only band that mattered to me for a while.
Good, so we've vindicated.
So I'm close. I mean, I wasn't
Loved
completely
the Clash.
wrong.
Had the honors of interviewing Joe Strummer a few times and Mick Jones, and they were great. And
man.
yeah, that was another like radio moment. Like, oh, you know, and Joe Strummer was so cool. So he was just such a righteous dude. I was really sad when he passed away.
Yeah,
that was tough.
Then we both thought it might be T-Rex.
I love T-Rex.
Okay, so we were in.
And then you guessed the Ramones.
But then GreyStarr's like,
I don't know.
he might hate the Ramones.
No.
No, he just knows. I feel like you know them so well that it wouldn't be like they're like your friends. So like I don't know if you would count that as like this category.
Yeah.
It was always like that. I was a kid. I mean, that's how I think a lot of musicians learn how to play from the first Ramones record.
Yeah.
Right.
You take the balance and it's guitar on one side and bass, and you play along with it. And you know, getting to know Joey was a major impact on us when we started the Electric Ballroom, because he would say in the news like it's his favorite program, and he'd come down and host with us, and he was really cool. And you know, I auditioned for the Ramones, and I went a couple times. I guess a lot of people didn't do that, but I started laughing after about 30 seconds of playing, and Johnny is like, you know, what's so funny? And I'm like, I'm looking over, and there's Johnny Ramone and Marky Ramone playing, and here I am in my bedroom for years playing along to their records, and I look over, and it's really Johnny and Marky.
Right.
You know, I love the Ramones. Definitely one of my favorite bands.
All right.
Cool. We were like,
We were
Yeah, they were all right
We were
there.
in the pocket.
There's something about though Keith Richards, and then those Johnny Thunders, Ronnie Wood types that are just something like just always appealed to me. The vibe, the look, the way they played, it was just really nasty and raw. And
Yeah.
just the epitome of rock and roll.
Yeah.
Good stuff, you know.
Nasty and raw. I like that. It's
Your
not my turn. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Oh wait, but we did this one. Hold on one moment, please. What is the... Okay. We asked something in this vicinity to Bob, and then the answer we were not allowed to put in his episode.
we needed to
because
edit him out.
It was really naughty.
Well, Bob's a naughty boy.
He's a naughty boy.
I should show you the text from Spain the other day.
No.
That's okay. Okay, so the question, your version is, what is the weirdest thing that has ever happened during an interview? When you've been interviewing something, what is... Look at his face.
There's been a few weird things,
Yeah.
but most people are really, really cool. But the weirdest thing that happened, and it was on my end, is I was doing an interview with the late, great Pat Denizio from the Smithereens.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, sometimes I really burn the candle at a lot of ends. And, you know, and Pat likes to talk, and he's always got great stories. And I just recently interviewed him on the Electric Ballroom.
Okay.
So now he was coming up to Sirius to do it for a show I used to do called the Punk Yard. And he's talking, and about 40 seconds later, I'm snoring. And I fell asleep. And you know when you wake up and you don't know where you are?
Yeah.
And I'm waking up, and I think Meg Griffin walked in the room, and she said something, and I woke up, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And without a beat, Pat was still talking, had no idea that I fell asleep.
Wow.
That was pretty weird.
Yeah.
You know, Leslie West one time thought I was on like serious drugs. Like, yeah, I mean that was pretty funny. He's a character.
You were so hardworking, though. I can actually completely see that happening.
Well, because you know you're very relaxed. If you remember Pat, he was just a sweet guy. But you know, he'd talk. I'm like, that's cool, and I knew what he was going to say. And next thing I'm like, you know. Because it's like watching a movie again. I've been through it, but that was
Plus
pretty
you were
weird.
on like 48 hours, no sleep probably.
No sleep, definitely jumping around.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
That was great. Okay, go GreyStarr.
Pick.
Oh,
Would you please tell us how Manman Records came to be?
we had a studio in Asbury Park called Manman Records. I'm called Manman Studios. Recording rehearsal. My buddy Sean Mars, and Sean was joining Skid Row.
Okay.
But it turned out to be called Ozone Monday. So a friend of ours...
Skid Row was called Ozone Monday.
For a minute.
Okay.
Sean,
Before or after it was Skid Row?
after it was Skid Row. Because
Okay.
Sean is a different kind of singer. He's more of a Kurt Cobain type.
Got it.
And he's like, you know, how can I fill the shoes of a Sebastian Bach?
Yeah,
you can't call
yeah.
this Skid Row.
No.
So they went in a different direction. So a friend of ours who worked for a label said, you know what would be cool is you guys do covers really well and record them. how about if we paid for you guys to go in the studio and make a covers record? And his plan was like, Sean was going to be hugely successful with Skid Row on Monday, and we'll have this covers record to come out. And, he goes, we can all make some money on it. So Sean was like, yeah, let's do it. We got to record like GenerationX and T-Rex. And we did this record with Dave Halpern, Dave Halpern, Mr. Reality.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
It was the late, great Damien Cardisco, Damien Kane. And we went into Vic Pepe's studio in Westfield, and we started on a Friday. We mixed it Monday, and we mastered it on Tuesday. And then we loved this record. It was called Mutant Monster Beach Party, high in the low 70s.
Oh my God.
And it was, we covered like Cheap Trick. It was like we got to be kids and, go in the studio and do what we wanted.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to give the record to them after that. So we decided, you know what? We have the studio. We're not making much money, but we could put it on a credit card and finance it and just pay it until it's paid off. And that's what we did. And we never wound up giving the record. And we're like, well, we got to start a label, and it's Manman Records, Manman Studios, Asbury Park. But the days of Asbury Park where most people wouldn't want to be hanging around there.
Yeah.
There was a different kind of vibe going on. There was a lot of craziness going on, but it was a lot of fun, and that's how Manman started. That was the first release.
Awesome.
The
So
beginning of
started
Manman.
with me and my buddy Sean Morris.
And like, how many releases have you done since then?
70. Well, the Bowie one that's coming out in April, that's 71. There's a couple in the can. I know there's a new Acid record. There's a Ribeye Brothers record coming. There's a Frankenstein record where you girls are all over it yet again. That's coming out in like June. That's done. That's going to be a fun record. So, yeah, right now, 71, the Bowie one. But it should be by the end of the year up to 75.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And it's a labor of love, I mean, some records have done well that have financed to keep this label, and some have really tanked, so.
Isn't that,
we got a whole
isn't that
warehouse
how
of
it
them,
is, though? Yeah.
But we've always, we love music so much that
That's what
we love
keeps it
doing
going
it.
year after year, for sure.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool.
It's an addiction that there's no rehab for it.
God, thank
That's
God.
so true. Yeah, thank God.
Okay, tell us about Frankenstein 3000, which was the first time I saw you and met you, actually, was at a Frankenstein 3000 show.
Many years ago.
When I was a wee Ben with,
I
with a fake
remember that,
ID.
Amy. Yeah.
Yes.
You were there with Judy.
I was there with Judy.
It was
with
at
my
Maxwell's
fake
in Hoboken,
ID.
right?
Yeah, in Hoboken.
And that was probably around 2003?
Yeah.
2, 3, somewhere?
3, because that was the
2003.
year I first came to New York, was 2003.
Right.
So I was 18.
Okay, I was
Wow.
21.
There you go.
Yeah, so,
That's right.
yeah, no, that was a fun band. I mean, it started as a joke. I mean, I was in a couple other bands previous, and Scott from the Saint in Asbury, I was made up this name, Frankenstein 3000.
How did that even...
A friend of mine told me that he had a band in the 70s called Frankenstein 3000.
Okay.
And anytime they tried to play a gig, bad stuff would happen. Drummer broke his arm. It was cursed. The name was cursed. Like, what are the odds? And he just could never, it was
very
like really
spine-tight.
glamish, like, around Clockwork Orange kind of time, that kind of Frankenstein 3000. So that was my thing. Like, oh yeah, I got a new band, Frankenstein 3000. So he said, D-Generation's playing the Saint. I've had enough of you talking about it. Like, make your debut.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. And then I called up friends. Dave Halpern played the first show with us. Tommy DeFaro, you know Tommy.
Yeah.
Jason from a band called Skeeter and Fuzz the World. And Joe from Glamorous. And I can't remember. And we did the first show. And then a lot of them, and then I just started writing songs. And 20 years later, I'm still doing this craziness.
Yeah.
I love what I love about the band is and some people don't go. We'll play small rooms or we get to play theater. I like them all the same.
Yeah.
It's fun. There's something about playing places like the Brighton Bar where you're just with the people, and it's also nice when you play theaters and you could just sit in the back, go do your thing, and come back.
Yeah.
Never know which way it's going to go, but I look forward to it. It's fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we love when we get to do little sneak songs with you guys.
We play your one when you girls get up there to do it. It's kind of weird when we do it without you. Pete. If Pete's playing drums, it's like, are the girls
so
doing it
weird
tonight?
without the girls.
We've tried it a few times, but it's fun because then we could do Going Away and Red Tank's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that's a cool
Tank.
little place in Red Bank. It's kind of developing its own thing. So yeah, it's been around. We made a lot of records, but the last one been my favorite, The Blunt Truth, and
That's a great
Yeah.
record. Yeah.
that's my favorite.
Well, we're doing those songs later.
Oh, we are?
When we
Yeah.
step
I know we're
into the Glitterverse.
I saw Bob playing. The thing
Yes.
about Bob that people don't realize is he's a great guitar player.
He is. We were so
We
excited.
were blown
to-
away. We
Yeah.
were like, What?
Yeah.
It was like perfect.
He's a great player. He's like, and I'll admit it, we have all done a lot of sessions at his studio,
Yeah.
the Freak Shop.
Yeah.
And, years ago, and he'd be like, can you play the right key? I'm like, what are you talking about, you drummer? And he takes the guitar and he's like, this is what I'm saying. I'm like, how about you play? And ever since then, but I know a few of his bands, he plays a lot of guitar on that.
Yeah.
He's a very talented guy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, how many have you got left?
I have 2. You have 1.
No, because I just said that one. Go.
Always Bet on Black.
That one we already talked about.
Never mind.
I'll find it in a year.
Sorry about that. You are a prolific songwriter. How many songs have you written? And tell us about your process. I know you have many notebooks
I do.
with songs in them that have never been developed fully.
Well, it's time to make a record, because really the only band that I make records with, every other year, every year is Frankenstein. So
right.
anytime I have an idea or a melody, and now I just record it on my iPhone, and I email it to myself, and I put it in a folder, and I forget about it. No, I've written for other people. It's cool when you do that. I mean, it's fun. When we did the movie, Billy, the director, Divizia, said, you got to write a song that it was like you could feel was a big hit in the later 80s, early 90s, and Revolution. Like those things, I don't put too much pressure on myself. I put pressure on myself about everything else, but that kind of stuff. So I've definitely written songs for other people.
And then that punky song you wrote.
Oh, yeah,
we sang that on tour with him, which was so fun.
With Danny the Man.
That. Yeah.
Let me tell you, the time that we had on that little run when we were in Punky's band,
was amazing.
the girls were the background
So much
singers,
fun.
and Bob was playing drums, and we did the West Coast run, and we did those East Coast shows, and being out because Punky's like the coolest guy.
He's so lovely.
So cool.
I love Punky. We
man.
love Danny.
Yeah.
Danny's
Love
great.
Danny.
Bob, I had a room with him and his snoring. I still loved it. But we just had it was like there was no stress. The 7-hour ride through the desert going from Vegas to San Diego.
Do you remember that ice cream parlor in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah. It's like
Right.
hey, hold on while I'm cooking up some meth. Let me go out there and give you guys out of the middle of nowhere. We're in an ice cream parlor.
Yeah.
Punky with his French fries. Remember he had the French fries?
Yes.
I wound up eating those. And playing the whiskey and
That was good.
And Frank
So
Domino,
fun.
right? The first time he reunited with those
Yeah.
guys. I was so happy to be. Every day was so much fun.
Yeah.
And there was so much
We
chaos
literally
going
talk
on.
about it every time we
All the
see each
time.
other.
Yeah.
Like how much fun that was.
Yeah.
That was a really fun. I think back and I just laugh about how much fun that whole thing was.
Absolutely.
It was great. We had great shows. Every night was great.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's our episode.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to tell the world?
It was a pleasure being on the show. Thank you for letting me into the Glitterverse
Yay!
for the Neon sessions,
Yeah.
and anytime.
Thanks. We're gonna. What are we doing next? We're doing some songs next.
We're going to do some songs.
Oh, we're gonna play?
do some Frankenstein 3000 songs.
Yes,
Okay.
from the Blunt Truth.
From
Oh,
the
perfect.
Truth.
What are we doing?
We're going to do, it's a surprise. They're about to find out.
Okay.
Ooh.
But
All right.
firstly, we have to step into the Glitterverse. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready to go into the Glitterverse, my friends? Okay.
We're going.
Did I do it right this way?
Perfect. Whatever you did.
Was it wrong?
It's with you I wanna be. Peace and love and empathy. Tie me off, I wanna be. Shooting up the enemy. Shooting up the enemy, yeah. We played a show and no one came. We played and played it just the same. If there's no ears, then there's no sound. If there's no tree, there's no ground. It's with you I wanna be. Peace and love and empathy. Tie me off, I wanna be. Shoot Take it like a man, boy. Take it like a man, boy.
You're one, you're one.
It's with you I wanna be.
You're one, you're one.
Peace and love and empathy.
You're one, you're one.
Tie me off, I wanna be.
You're one, you're one.
Shooting up the enemy, shooting up the enemy, yeah. I'd pump your stomach if I thought I'd stop the pain your doctor bought. Forever now, forever then. Ignore the flower, feed the stem.
You take it like a man, boy. 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 Take it like a man, boy. You're one, you're one. It's with you I wanna be.
Take it like a man, boy.
Peace and love and empathy.
Take it like a man, boy.
Tie me off, I wanna be.
Take it like a man, boy. Take it like a man, boy.
You're one, you're one.
It's with you I wanna be.
You're one, you're one.
Peace and love and empathy.
You're one, you're one.
Tie me off, I wanna be.
You're one, you're one.
Shooting up the enemy, shooting up the enemy, shooting up the enemy, yeah. Heading to the station, watch the train say you're going away. Dead of winter, start to shiver, say you're going away. Read the latest trend from a friend, say you're going away. Well, I can't stand the line, you start crying, say you're going away, away. Y'all feeling that you're on your own. Won't travel unless it's close to home.
Going downtown, going nowhere.
Going away. 'Cause you're going downtown, going nowhere. Going away. Away. Regurgitate your passage from the masses, say you're going away. Like a bullet from a gun, time has come, say you're going away, away. Y'all feeling that you're on your own. Won't travel unless it's close to home. Gotta get away, the same old song. You say there ain't no action 'cause you ain't the main attraction, and you
Going downtown, going nowhere.
going away. 'Cause you're going downtown, going nowhere, going away, away. So you lost the velvet,
Underground,
such a dirty little.
mess around.
Stay quiet, don't you make a sound. Y'all feeling that you're on your own. Won't travel unless it's close to home. Gotta get away, the same old song. You say there ain't no action 'cause you ain't the main attraction, and you
Going downtown, going nowhere.
going away. 'Cause you're going downtown, going nowhere, going away, away. And you
Going downtown, going nowhere.
going away. 'Cause you're going downtown, going nowhere, going away,
You ready, my friends? We're about to step into the Glitterverse. Yes! In Anchorman is when they're
Oh my God,
the
the
credits are rolling and they're like,
totally.
you're a stinky well, your mother and they're like, oh so good. It's so good. 5, 6, 7. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious, if you say it loud enough, you'll only sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. He traveled all around the world and everywhere he went.
That's all we know.
That just gave me anxiety of like Sunday night with Walt Disney. Like I knew it was the end of the good times because I had to go to school the next day. But that was great. You girls were awesome.
And scene.
Action.
Is there an action or is this the action?
This is just the action, I think.
Perfect.